Hello everyone, welcome back to the English class. In this session, we are going to talk about a very important tense called past perfect tense. Already, in our earlier sessions, we were talking about various tenses like present simple, present continuous, present perfect continuous, past simple, and past continuous. And this is the tense number 7 that is called past perfect. Very honestly, this is the most important tense. If you're preparing for any competitive exams, I'm pretty sure you cannot expect the question paper without any of these tenses. That's why this tense is very important. So, I'll make it very easy for you. Generally, when we read some grammar books, this tense looks very complex. The definitions and the formula look very difficult, but I'll make it very easy for you. First of all, listen very carefully. When do we use this tense called past perfect? So we are talking about a beautiful tense called past perfect tense. So let me explain very clearly. When do we use this tense? Okay. When do we use this tense? What is the situation? I always say tenses is all about situation. Okay. So we use the grammar according to the situation. Remember. So now, please understand. Imagine two actions are completed in the past. Imagine two actions are completed in the past. I'll write it very easily. Two actions over. I am writing in a broken language, okay? Two actions are broken. Two actions are completed in the past. Now, out of these two actions, imagine action A and action B. Imagine action A and action B. Now, out of these two actions, action A and action B, one of the two actions should happen first, correct? Now, let us assume A action happened first. A action happened first. And after A happened, then B happened. Now, whenever I talk about two actions which are over in the past, out of those two actions, whichever action happened in the first place, there we use past perfect. There we use past perfect. Now, naturally, what about the second action? When this action takes the past perfect tense, this action takes past simple tense. I hope the point is very clear. So this is the beauty here. This is the beauty here. So I didn't understand, sir. Can you explain once more? Definitely I'll do it. My dear friends, just understand two actions happened in the past tense. For example, yesterday, imagine at 7 a.m. action A happened and at 9 a.m. action B happened. I hope you're following. Yesterday at 7 a.m. action A happened and at 9 a.m. action B happened. Now, you tell me which action happened first. Naturally, action A happens first. Now, when two actions happened in the past, whichever action happened first, for that action, we use this tense called past perfect. So, whichever action happened first, to describe that action, we use past perfect tense. Now, I hope the point is very clear and easy for you to understand. Okay, sir, we have understood when to use past perfect. Now, what is the grammar? Yes, this is a grammar. Grammar is very simple. Subject plus the helping verb comes had. Always remember, past perfect means had. Always remember, past perfect means had. Now also remember, whenever we use the helping verb had, the verb should be in the third form. Whenever we use the helping verb had, the verb should be in the third form followed by object. So, subject and object are anyways there. Helping verb had plus the verb is in the third form. Helping verb had plus the verb is in the third form. Now the point is very clear, I'm pretty sure. See, Sumit had left the job. Sumit had left the job. So had left is a beautiful expression here. And the verb is naturally in the third form. Now you can ask me, so what exactly is the meaning of this sentence? Sumit had left the job. It means you have to assume that this action happened before another action. Like if I were to continue this action, if I were to continue this action, it looks like this. Sunil had left the job before Sunil had left the job before me, which means I also left the job. Sumit also left the job. But between us, Sumit was the one who had left the job first. So naturally, I say Sumit had left the job, which means his action happened first and his action happened before my action. I hope it is very clear. Now, having understood the situation of past perfect, without further delay, let's get into more and more examples. Listen to the examples very, very carefully, my dear friends. See, there is an example I have written like this. I had taken, I had taken coffee, I had taken coffee before, I had taken coffee before I started the session. See, I had taken coffee before I started the session. What exactly is the meaning of the sentence? If you notice something interesting, here I have done two actions. I have taken coffee, I have started the session. But between these two, the first action that I made was taking coffee. That is the reason, if you see here, this part of the sentence is the action that happened first. This is the first action, my dear friends. This is the first action, my dear friends. And now, naturally, the second action is this. I started the session. So, before I started the session. So, I started the session is the second action. And that is why now, if you observe very carefully the grammar that I have used here, I had taken coffee. This grammar is what we call past perfect. I had taken coffee. This grammar is what we call past perfect. And I started the session. This action is what we call past simple. This action is what we call past simple. I hope the point is now clear to all of you. I'll give you now another example. Try to understand the example very carefully. She helped me. See, she helped me after. She helped me after I asked. No, wrong. She helped me after I had asked. Why? Why should I use this particular grammar here? If you observe this sentence carefully, there is something interesting. She helped me. See, she helped me is the one part of the sentence. I had asked is another part of the statement. But if you logically observe here, I had asked. Now this had asked, it is what we call past perfect. Had asked is what we call past perfect. And now naturally, she helped me is called past simple. She helped me is called past simple. So between these two actions, I had asked is past perfect. She helped is past simple. I had asked is past perfect. She helped is past simple. So this is the beauty of the sentence here. Now if you ask here, so here you have used past perfect first, but here you have used past simple. It is just because here before is there, which means this action happened first and this action happened next. But here after is there, which means this action happened first and this action happened next. Isn't it interesting? Isn't it very, very interesting? So when we talk about past perfect, we should be very careful. That is why when we use had in our communication also, we need to be very careful because we can't use had just like that. Every rule in grammar is specified and crystal clear. We can't ignore the rules at any cost. So had is a dangerous word, my dear friends, and had talks about past perfect. So when we use had in a particular assignment, we need to use had only when we really must use it. Especially had is used for the first action. Now I'll ask you a question and you tell me. What is the problem in the sentence, because this is how tomorrow you can expect questions in the exams as well. I studied well. I studied well before I wrote the exam. I studied well before I wrote the exam. I studied well before I wrote the exam. Do you think the sentence is right, or do you think there is any problem with the sentence? I studied well before I wrote the exam. Do you think the sentence is correct? No, the sentence is not correct. Because if you carefully observe here, I have used before, which means this action happened first and this action happened next. The first action should have had. So this is missing in the sentence. So that this is how tomorrow the questions can come in the examinations. I had studied well before I wrote the exam is something very interesting and something very important. Having said this, now remember in the same expression you can ask questions also. I'll give you one question and try to understand this. Why did she see why did she why did she take why did she take the money why did she take the money before why did she take the money before I instructed? Now there is a boss who is asking a question like this, and this question is about another woman, and now the question is like this: why did she take the money before I instructed? Now imagine this is a direct question asked by a boss about something happened. Do you think the sentence is right? No, the sentence is not right. Because why did she take the money before I instructed? It means here before is used. So naturally, this part of the sentence is the first action. Now, if that is the action which happened first, it should be in past perfect. But my dear friends, this part of the sentence completely is not at all in past perfect. This part of the sentence is in past simple, which is wrong. Now I have to modify the sentence like this. Why had she? I should modify like this. Why had she taken the money? Why had she taken the money? You got it? Why had she taken the money? Because the moment I have decided to use past perfect, had is compulsory. And remember, when I use had in a sentence, I must use the verb in the third form. So this is what past perfect is about. So my dear friends, I have given you ample examples and also I have explained very clearly and carefully how and why and what to use in past perfect. Before I end this particular tense, I will recap very briefly. Past perfect tense is used to talk about the first action. Past perfect tense is used to talk about the first action. So whenever two actions happened in the past, the action that happened first, I must use past perfect. And the action I have seen next, we use past simple. This is the beauty of the tense called past perfect. Now, having very clearly explained the timing and the situation of using the past perfect tense, we also have practiced the formula subject plus had plus V3. Based on that, I have given you good number of examples, my dear friends. I hope the point is clear. This is something about a beautiful tense called past perfect tense. Very important.